Hey there, this is Akshat Madan. Welcome back to a new video, and this video topic is what are the proper steps of making an app? You all can build an app, you all can create an app, but are you following the right steps? Because in this industry, the most important part is time and money. If you are utilizing your time and money in the right way, then only you can assume that you will be successful, because it's a huge market: app development, web development, software development, right? So you have to utilize your resources very carefully, right? So it's very important to ask yourself whether you are creating a software, whether it's an app or website, with the proper steps, right? So in this video we are going to discuss those, and this video is super helpful for students who are working on the projects, and startup owners, entrepreneurs who are trying to create a product, who will be selling it in the future. And next will be the working professionals who are working on their side project with their 9 to 5 job, right? So let's start with this video, and I hope that you all are already knowing what is app development, what is web development, how to create an app, right? Because in this video I may be using some of the terms related to this industry, but I'm going to explain them, so no worries. So let's begin with the first step. So what should be the first step whenever you are creating an app, or what do you do for the first thing? Like, so what should be the first step? So obviously the first step will be define the concept, define the app concept, or you can term this whole thing or whole sentence as ideation phase, right? The idea should be definitely be clear. You should be doing some market research, whether market actually needs this product, right? If in this year, like 2023, if you are creating a to-do application, you are creating a drawing application, you are creating a application to track family members location, it won't be relevant because there are already thousands of applications which are doing this, right? So you should be doing a market research. You should be totally confident that, hey, this product is definitely going to crack the market. There is a proper need. You should be doing a survey. You should be asking your friends, your families, your colleagues that, hey, if I create this app, will you be using it? How will you be using it? For how many hours in a day you will be using it, right? So these are some of the questions that you can ask yourself, and you can ask the people around you. So this is the first step, that is define the app concept. So let's say you are creating an application for a grocery supermarket, right? So what is the concept here? The concept is obviously e-commerce, because here you are going to list down your products. You will be having an admin panel from where you can add more products, you can delete some products, you can mark some products as sold out, you can allot offers to some products, right? So concept is e-commerce. Then what you can do is you can go on the internet, download some e-commerce applications, take some references from Dribble, where all the designs are present. You can take some online reference. So basically you are now clear with the concept, and now you're going on the second step, that, okay, so this is my concept, e-commerce is my concept, and now how the app should look like, right? What are the already built apps looking like in the market, right? So concept, the ideation phase is very important, because from here only the foundation of your product is going to get made, right? So this is the first step, that is defining your app concept. Now let's move on to the second step, that is research and planning, right? So research and planning. So now your concept is e-commerce. Okay. Now I'm also going to list down some of the platforms or the online resources in this video, so that you don't need to actually waste your time in finding the resources, right? I've listed down all the resources. Now I'm going to provide to you. So now you know that your app is related to the e-commerce industry. Now what should you do is you should start researching, right? So what steps you can follow is, first of all, go and download some applications from Play Store and App Store, right? Now what you can do is, after the second step is go on dribble.com. So this is a website where all the designers, the professional designers, the UI UX creators have listed down their portfolios, listed down their projects, the UI UX projects. And you won't believe that whatever apps I have built till now, before starting coding part, I usually go to dribble.com and try to see what is the design perspective, what should be the design perspective of this product, right? So all my design works, all my design knowledge I'm getting from dribble.com, right? Now third is Figma community, right? So on Figma also, many designers have actually published their work, published their design works on Figma community. That is open source, that is free of cost. You can actually go there, duplicate the projects, Now, one more thing will be helpful over here is from dribble.com and Figma community. If in future, if you are a startup owner or you are a student and looking for a project partner, then you can actually see their work and you can see if their alignment, if their thought alignment is also similar to yours, then you can contact them. Hey, I'm working on a project. I really liked your design. Will you be interested in working with me? Definitely, you can get a project partner there. You can get a co-founder. You can get your design lead from there, right? So this is the advantage of these platforms where the public works of people are already published, right? So next thing is research and planning, right? So we are talking about research and planning. So in this phase also, you have to document your thoughts. You have to document whatever research you're getting, right? So for that thing, I usually use notion.io, I guess. Yeah, notion.so. So let me show you one creative thing. Just a second. Yeah, see. So the complete script of this video also have documented over here, right? In notion.so. So this is the good part of Notion, that it's very useful whenever you are trying to document some stuff, you are trying to put your thoughts in the digital format, right? So whenever I create projects, whenever I create apps, websites or any software, I first try to research about the topic, research about the concept, and then whatever thoughts I'm getting in the process, right, I try to document it on Notion. So I create a Notion project, I create a page, I create a template. There are thousands of templates, and I just create a template and I try to document the stuff. Like I have documented this complete video script, right? So this is a good part of research and planning. Coming on the next step, that is design the user interface. Now you will be thinking that, okay, so is after research and planning, should we start designing stuff? No, it's not like that. You don't directly jump on a platform like Figma, Miro board, or some other Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and try to design your apps. It's not like that. First of all, before jumping on the designing the UI, you have to do wireframing. Now, what is wireframing? Let me do it right now. So our app concept is e-commerce, right? So first of all, I'm going to get a login page where my email and password field will be there. A button will be there to change it to sign up or sign in, right? Sign up or sign in. Then when I click on this button, I should be redirected to a I should be redirected to a page where I will be seeing an app bar. Some product tiles will be listed over here. So this is like product tile, and on this product tile, if I just zoom in, I will be seeing like this, where my price will be written, some heart icon will be there, and one cart button will be there, right? So this is a favorite button, this is a cart button. So what I'm trying to do over here, so this is called wireframing. I've done very roughly, I know, I actually know what I've done right now, but this is how wireframing works. So first of all, before actually designing my stuff on Figma or Miro board, I've actually curated the complete flow of my application, right? So this is called wireframing, right? Where all the screens, all the frames, so these are called frames, are actually connected. So they are wired, right? So it's like a complete storyline. So whenever if I'm a designer and I'm creating this wireframe for my founder of the company or the product, I can actually show these wireframes before actually designing stuff, right? So this is going to save time, and this is actually going to save money, right? So if you are a founder and you are trying to hire some designers from Upwork or Freelancer or Fiverr, then you can actually create this wireframes for like on your own, and you can give these wireframes to your designer. So this is going to save a cost, this is going to save your money, right? So this was the second stuff. Now after designing the UI, after designing this wireframe, you can actually go on the same platforms, that is Figma, and next platform is Miro board. So this is also a very wonderful tool. Miro board, I actually use it for wireframing only, and sometimes I don't use it for designing my UI. I use Figma only for designing my apps. But if you like Miro board, then you can use Miro. If you like Figma, you can use Figma, right? But my personal choice is Figma, right? So this was the third step, that is designing your user interface, right? Coming on the next step, that is designing a prototype, or you can say developing a prototype. Developing a prototype. So what is this prototype? So in technical terms, we call it MVP. So in technical terms, we also call it MVP, which is minimum viable product. That means before designing the complete app solution or web solution, you are trying to create a small feature out of that, or small set of features. So let's say our app concept was e-commerce, right? Our app concept was e-commerce, and I'm trying to create a grocery app for an e-commerce supermarket, right? So now I've got all my requirements from them, and I've created a wireframe. I've created my complete design. Now it's not like that you are going to give these designs to your developers and say, come on, let's develop the complete product. It's not like that. First of all, you are going to develop some set of features. So what are the key features from an e-commerce store? The user should be able to see the products, right? See the products. Sign up and sign in also have not included, because actually an e-commerce product can work without sign up, sign in till the person is creating an order, right? At the order creation, you can take some address and some user data, but before, like for the minimum viable product, we can say that first key feature is seeing the products, right? Then next feature is adding the product to the cart, then creating an order, then payment. So with only these 4 features also, my product can work, right? It's not like that I should be having a feature to wish list some products, marking some products at favorite, or seeing my order history, sign up, sign in, then some high level security authentication, notifications. It's not like that, right? First of all, I can deliver these 4 set of features. The supermarket can actually start the product, they can actually test it, they can see if my service is good, and then they can say that, okay, it's really awesome, please make some more features like authentication and favorites feature, or many other features like that, right? Order history, right? So this is called developing a prototype, that is minimum viable product, right? Usually startups also, before getting the investments, they don't actually create the whole product. They first create this MVP, right? Now over here, I would like to go to flutterflow.io. So actually I marked no code on my thumbnail, right? You must be coming on this video using that because of that keyword. That is why I'm talking about no code. Am I going to talk about no code? Can you actually create the whole product using no code? Yes, definitely you can. It totally depends on the complexity of your product. So let's go to flutterflow.io. So this is flutterflow.io, and usually I use this for creating MVPs only. So you can see that I can create a blank app, or you can see some templates. So the most beautiful part of Flutterflow is that you get the marketplace. So if I just go to marketplace, and you can see that a lot of creators have actually created some of the small features, small tools, and they have published over here, right? So you can see that your e-commerce store is going to have a shop feature, like cart feature, right? So you can actually go over here, you can clone this project, and you can add this total feature, the complete feature, in your own project, right? So this is the beauty of Flutterflow, and I would say that this is the leading company or leading no-code platform if you are creating a mobile application, right? For web application, for the website, there are WordPress and Bubble, some other platforms, but for mobile application, I would say that in 2023, Flutterflow is the market leader, right? So you can actually check out this flutterflow.io, and you can actually use it for creating MVPs. Now, after talking about MVPs, our 5th step is developing the app. Now this is the key step, and this is your time consuming step and money consuming step, right? Because in the development of a application or website, most of the money goes to developers itself, right? Now, what are the current platforms using which you can create the whole app? So if you are talking about native platforms, then if you are creating for Android, then obviously you can use Kotlin. Now in 2023 and years coming along, I would say that you can use Kotlin only, no need of using Java. Kotlin is a better version for Android development, so you can use Kotlin. For iOS, you can use Swift UI, and I would similarly suggest Swift over Objective-C, which is another alternative of creating iOS application. So use Kotlin for Android and use Swift for iOS. And next is cross-platform. So if you are creating an application for both Android and iOS, then I would say that you can use Flutter, which is by Google, and you can use React Native, which is by Facebook, and they both are wonderful cross-platform frameworks for creating applications. Now, if you are trying to create an MVP, or you just don't know coding and your app idea is quite simple, then you can use Flutterflow, you can use Ionic, right? So you can use all these platforms for actual development of your application, right? So this was it, and now you can actually create your application. You can hire some developers, and in today's world you can actually use a lot of chat GPT to create an application. So if you are a developer and if you're a student, then don't code everything. It's useless, because people are saying that chat GPT can actually take the job of developers. It's totally true. I won't deny, it's a fact, it's truth, right? So what can you do to save yourself from like getting into that position? Start using ChatGPT. Try to adapt the new technologies that are coming. Don't actually code all the stuff, right? Go to ChatGPT and say that, hey, can you give me an API call for a product in which these are my fields. It is going to give you a TypeScript API or a JavaScript API, right? So it's not a bad thing, right? Because if things are getting developed, then you should actually use it. Otherwise you will be lost in the history, right? So this was the fifth step, that is developing the app. Now next is, as you already have guessed it, testing, right? So before a developer should give this application to the founders or to the other stakeholders, he can actually use three types of testing, that is unit testing, then we have integration testing, and we have widget testing. Now I am not going to go deeper into these three testing in this video. I can have a different separate video for these testing videos, but actually developer can use these three testing techniques to test an application, to test the widgets, to test the UI, to test the functions, to test the backend, everything, right? And after all these testings are passed, then you can actually give the product to the founders, to the other stakeholders, to the investors, or to the other team members, right? So now here either you can rely on the developer itself for the testing, or you can hire testers. Now if you're a startup, I won't actually suggest you to hire a tester or a QA team, because it will be costlier for you. You can actually tell the developer itself to test rigorously your feature, whatever feature he or she is creating, right? So this is very important step, because without testing you can't actually release the product, because if your users are facing errors or bugs, it's gone. The whole point of creating a product is gone, right? So this was the sixth phase. Now talking about the seventh phase, and polishing. So whatever feedback you are getting from your testers, from the developers, or from the investors, stakeholders, you can actually start implementing those feedbacks, and whatever features they are demanding more. So usually it happened that I was working in a startup, and we usually found that whenever we test a product, because whenever we are creating a product, we are actually so much confident that, hey, I have thought this idea, I'm totally confident about this idea. But when we create the product, when we develop the product and we give it to some external testers, to some beta testers, they actually say that, okay, but this is not relevant to me. Can I get this feature? Can I get that feature? So actually it's a good feedback, because if you have created a product on your own mindset, on your own thoughts, and others are not finding it useful, then it's not a point. It's not a good thing, right? You have to take the feedback of your internal testers and your initial testers, and you have to start implementing this feedback, and you have to start polishing your product, because whenever your product goes for the testing for the first time, obviously you're going to get a lot of bugs, right? It's not a bad thing, but if you are getting so many bugs, you should start polishing your product, right? So usually it's like a cycle, right? It's also called a CI/CD cycle. I won't go in the CI/CD cycle right now, but I will go in the lighter version of CI/CD, that first of all you have to build the product, then you have to go in the testing phase, and then you will be going in the deployment phase, and then you are going to get some feedback, then again building, testing, deployment, building, testing, deployment, like that, right? So it's a lighter version of CI/CD, right? Usually in between this, management also comes, and deployment also comes, so I won't go into that phase. So this is like a cycle, right? So this was the seventh phase. We are going to get the feedback, and you're going to polish the product. Now eighth phase is super important, that is deployment. So how are you going to deploy your app? So first of all, if you are creating an application for a school project or a college project, then actually you can directly get a Play Store account, an App Store account, and you can publish your application to the stores, right? But actually whenever you are creating a project or application or a website for a startup or a company, usually you don't actually transfer this complete app to the stores directly, because it's a lot of pain. Because tomorrow you are bringing more features. Are you again going to build the app? Are you again going to push to the stores? It's not like that. So usually in between we have CI/CD, and for this CI/CD you can use Bitrise or you can use Code Magic, right? So what does these platforms do? So what will happen is your app is obviously having some source code, and that source code will be deployed, or it will be there on GitHub, right? So these platforms actually get connected to your GitHub account, and whenever you push a new feature, you push a new feature from your app, from your VS Code or from local to this GitHub, again the Bitrise or this Code Magic takes the updated code and builds it on the cloud or builds it on the server, right? Creates a new APK file, creates a new IPA file, and publish it to the stores, right? So using this step, you don't need to actually create a new APK, again sign it, again push it to the stores or App Store or Play Store, right? You just need to create a feature, create a pull request, create a new branch, push it to the GitHub. If you think that all the test cases have passed, merge the branch to the master branch, and this Bitrise is going to read the updated code, build it on the server, push it to the store. So your 50% of the work is actually done by this Bitrise or this Code Magic, right? So this is a super important stuff, especially when you are getting a project for startup or a company, right? Next thing is monitoring and analysis. Monitoring and analysis. So this is also important, because usually when you have created your product and you have published it, you must have integrated analytics, right? So you can actually use Firebase Analytics, or you can use your own logger. So what is these? Firebase Analytics is actually a tool by Firebase or by Google, in which you can actually read the event. So on which screen your user faced some issue, or from which screen your user dropped the app or like lost the interest, you can actually analyze those features. You can actually analyze those events, right? Using Firebase Analytics. Now, what is your logger? So actually, whenever your app starts, you can initialize a WebSocket connection to your server, and whatever user is doing in the application, you can actually monitor that, so that you can see where the user is facing the problem, right? So this is like monitoring and analysis, and you can also utilize this data for advertisements, for improving your app UI, for improving your app features, right? So this is an important step, right? Monitoring and analysis. Usually for startups and for project owners, for the students, I would suggest Firebase Analytics, because this maintaining your own server, then creating a backend can be a little bit difficult, right? Now, next thing is the most interesting stuff, that is marketing. So now it's your time to hire some marketing managers. I won't suggest you to hire the marketing team like Zomato and spend crores and lakhs of rupees there. Where if you are a student, then you can actually hire some your friends, and who are actually good in communication skills, soft skills, who are actually having some good amount of followers on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. You can tell them, please market my product. I'm going to give you some equity. I'm going to give you some. I'm going to give you part in the canteen. So that's also a good way of making your getting your work done, right? And if you are a startup, then don't actually depend on a marketing agency, because they may actually hide some data, or they may not give you the exact amount of analytics or the tools or the data that you actually need for scaling up your product, right? So at the starting, you should depend on your own team members, on yourself, to get the marketing done. Go and do some meme marketing, because it's a trendiest way of marketing stuff, right? So these are all the 10 steps that you can actually follow to create an application. This is going to actually help you in scaling up your product, right? Now, after these 10 steps, if you have got around 10,000 users, daily active users, or 100,000 daily active users, then after that, system design and microservices come. Now, we are not going to go into that part. First of all, create an application which gets to that stage, and then you can actually watch system design videos, and you can see what is that thing, and you can actually have some experienced engineers for that, right? So I hope that you like this video. Go and like my post and follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm publishing such great content only for app developers, for students, for startup owners, entrepreneurs, and working professionals, IT, tech, everything, right? So hit the like button if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Till the next content, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.